Hi, everyone. Welcome to Air Check Your Life, a simple framework that we use to get you to assess what's going on in your life. Think about what small adjustments you might be able to make, and then really take a look at those things that aren't serving you anymore and just get rid of them. We're joined, as we are every Tuesday today, by my sipping friend. I caught you mid sip there, Cortney McDermott, who
Caught me mid.
is author and speaker. She's got a whole series of books out there that are just awesome. I loved listening to them on Spotify. It was a lot of fun for me. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very well. How about you tell us how you're feeling?
Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day, and
Mhm.
I want to start with this because to jump in any other way would just feel completely inauthentic for
Mhm.
me. But today I am grieving. I Oh gosh, I am grieving. I lost a great uncle, not a great uncle, but a great uncle this morning. He has not been well for the last week or so, and has been kind of hanging in there. And this morning, he crossed over, and I have to share this with you, Courtney, because I think this will make sense to you a little bit. But I was driving to the gym this morning, and all of a sudden, this unbelievable feeling came over me, and all I could think about was my uncle. And I shed a little bit of a tear on my way to the gym, and was just kind of listening to some music. And I got to the gym, put down my phone, got in, did my workout. And when I got done with my workout, there was a text waiting from me from my cousin to say that her dad had passed away at almost the exact moment that I had this feeling come over me.
Mhm.
And it was just really, really awesome. That's the only word I can use to describe it, was that I felt the passing a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep this whole podcast about this sadness, but it was a beautiful start to my day on a day where it's going to be filled with not just great memories, but some sad moments too, as I reflect on this man's life and what he meant to me and what he meant to our family and all the things. So thank you for letting me share that as we get started today.
Yeah, I think we should share another truth.
Let's go.
I think we should share that we just recorded another podcast together, and we knew that the one we're doing live today would have come before, right? We're doing this week, and this other one is for next week. And
Mhm.
so we said, okay, we're going to go back to this original theme that we had, and we're going to talk through that. And I would like to acknowledge that maybe that's not what we're supposed to do. And that it doesn't matter if there's not a sequence or not an order, because life is like that. And maybe we rest a little bit longer in just acknowledging this interconnectedness that you're talking about, and the fact that we are all connected. And what does it feel like, even right now, taking this moment to feel safety and connection? So we don't need to be anything. We don't need to show up any differently. We don't need to figure it out. We don't need to roll over it. And we can just be with it. I wonder what that might be like if we just did that right now, and where it could go.
Yeah, I'm wide open. I was planning on compartmentalizing my day, and
Mhm.
giving. I had all afternoon planned to go and be with his wife and just spend some time with them. But of course, she's got some other things that she's dealing with, and so I was going to take this afternoon and maybe get into nature and just go
Mhm.
walk around a little bit and give myself some time. But what could that look like?
Well, so as you're saying that, what's coming up for me is just permission. And I feel like when we give ourselves permission to be in it, to really feel it, and avoid compartmentalizing, which we all tend to do, right? Because we're told you can't feel that right now. We grow up and we're told you can't cry in public, you can't scream, you can't do these things, right? That are the very natural things that we would do as humans. And I'm just Yeah, very curious of you giving yourself permission and us giving that permission together of, hey, it's messy. And like, how does that start to impact others in terms of how the permission that they can give themselves because they're seeing you do it? Um, it's a remarkable thing to be able to show up anyway for what's happening and to kind of muscle through. And I think it's even more remarkable when we show up and kind of just share that really deep vulnerability. And it's funny because just last week I started to understand truly what vulnerability is. I never really got it before. And it's such a buzzword now that it kind of turns me off a little bit. But last week I got this hit really strong that vulnerability is about deeply relaxing with one another, deeply relaxing in connection. And sometimes we feel like, oh, we can do that on our own. I'll go out in nature. I'll just go be by myself and rest. And that was my way. And my question, I guess, back to you is how do we deeply relax right now in this moment in connection and give ourselves permission to do that so other people can give themselves that permission if they're ready for that as well?
Yeah, my truth in this is that this is exactly what I want to be doing.
Mhm.
When I experience moments like this of loss, I
Mhm.
don't want to go be by myself. I want to be around other people. I want to talk about it, or I want to talk about things, and not to be busy or distract myself from anything. But obviously, there's a lot of energy moving through me right now as I
Mhm.
feel all of these things today, and so I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad that we're on. I'm glad that we're talking about it. And what I want to say is, like, life has handed me too many examples that it's short. And
Mm.
as a guy who lost his mom and his dad and his best friend way too soon, and then you just experience another loss. It's just I know there's people out there that are watching us right now, and you're waiting for the right time, you're waiting for the moment to feel right. You're waiting for That's basically it. You're waiting for the moment to feel right. And I want to encourage you, and I want to say to you that the moment is right now. As Courtney just said, like, don't compartmentalize. Don't put it off till a little bit later. Don't feel any kind of urge other than to do the thing that feels right for you. And this feels right for me. I would love an opportunity to talk about it and talk through it with you. And you've been pretty helpful in my life when I lost my mom and my best friend. And why
Mm.
wouldn't I think that you'd be the exact same right here and now?
Mm. What's coming up for me is I'm wondering if you'd want to share a memory, like your favorite memory of your uncle. Do you have one that comes up right away, or maybe you want to close your eyes and just see what comes up?
No, it just came through like 1,000 pounds. So I grew up in a really big family. My mom was one of 11 kids.
Mhm.
So there was always a lot of people around. And because of that big span, you can imagine that I have cousins that are in their late 60s, and I have cousins that are in their 30s, right?
Mhm.
And so there's a big span there. And in 1996, that's when my father passed away. But in 2004, that's when I got married. And in a lot of ways, once my dad died, my uncle Bob stepped up, and he became a fatherly figure. And I don't mean that in my daily life, but I mean like in those important moments where it's nice for a fatherly figure to kind of stand up and say something.
Mhm.
And I remember our rehearsal dinner, and we were in Chicago for the rehearsal dinner at this great little restaurant called Gioco. And everybody was getting up and saying something. And I was feeling this void, and I was having this moment and all of this happiness where I was missing my dad. Like I wish that my dad could have been there for this moment. And without fail, my uncle stood up and he gave this beautiful talk, and he acknowledged that there was somebody who couldn't really be here, but would have loved to be.
Mm.
And it just it brought so much peace to me. And I can never forget that. I just because that's the piece about grief that I want people to understand. And I would imagine this is going to come up again with Jill on Thursday, but
Mhm.
I don't want you to stop talking about him. I don't
Mhm.
want you to stop saying his name. I don't want you to act like he never existed.
Mm.
Uh, Especially in the important moments. I want to acknowledge that there would have been somebody who would have loved to be here, but physically can't, right? And I know what all the people say. He's there with you. I understand all that.
Mhm.
But there still is that thing where you go, it would have been really cool for him to experience this. And so that's the memory that comes to me is when my
Mm.
uncle just stands up and he does nothing wild, nothing crazy. He simply acknowledges the moment.
Mhm.
And that was very
Mm.
meaningful for me.
Mm. That's so powerful. Uh, and acknowledging the moment, how apropos to what we just recorded for next week, you know?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
really noticing, resting in that deep noticing of where you are, and yeah, allowing that to inform what's right now, what's happening next, but next meaning now. um, yeah. Is there anything he would say to you that you remember that he would say, a kind of a maxim or any words of wisdom?
No, that really wasn't his style. He wasn't deep. He
Mhm.
wasn't you weren't going to sit down and have a life conversation with this particular person. He was the one that would be fun to go out with, fun to play a round of golf with, fun to go and visit with.
I love it.
And yeah, so I don't think that there's not much that comes to mind in that regard.
Oh, but that's so perfect. It's like how inviting more of that playful
Mm,
energy,
yes.
like, "Oh my gosh, we don't have to do anything," just like after, when you were saying, "I'm gonna go and just play around nature and outdoors." Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
Thanks for giving me the space to do it.
yeah, I feel like this is one of the important things that we get to do together, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching, everyone who's tuning in, is we just get to be together. Sometimes we think it's words or it's some sort of teaching that's going to pull it out, but uh, the lesson is just right here, and just getting together and just feeling relaxed enough to do that and see what emerges without agenda, without yeah contrivances like we were talking about for next week. So I really appreciate that, and really appreciate everyone who listened and who spent that moment with us. Would you like to maybe go and talk about anything else or go into a meditation? What are you feeling?
No, I love the idea of a meditation, just getting quiet for a few minutes and
Okay.
just giving, because I always say this. I don't mean to come across and have this podcast be all about me. My really heartfelt hope is that you find yourself in parts of our stories.
Mm.
And so, as Courtney kind of leads us through this meditation, I want you to just think about how this applies to what's happening in your life right now. Don't sit there and feel sad for me, but think about how this can be useful in your own life. So, that said, I give you the floor.
Okay. So, inviting everyone who's not driving a car or operating heavy machinery to go ahead and, if it feels good, close your eyes here with us for a moment. Feel into your body. Notice your breath. And taking a moment here together to notice if you're grieving anything. Is there anything you're grieving? Any loss or perceived loss? Any upset? The feeling that you should be somewhere else other than you are, where you are? Maybe you're missing a feeling you used to feel. Whatever it is, just giving yourself permission to feel the grief, feel the longing, feel the sadness. Feel the tremendous presence of getting with yourself, acknowledging, allowing, resting, relaxing into the grief. What would it feel like to relax into it without anywhere to go, anything to do, anyone to be? Can you go into it? Can you let it swallow you and spit you out? Can you let it engulf you? Can you let it just take its space for just a few moments? Give it space if you can. It's an invitation for us to do that together. You're not alone. Safety and connection. Breathing together, allowing all of our collective grieving, our collective losses or perceived losses, just letting them all be here with us right now. Like ancestors with great teachings for us to hold and embody collectively. And I invite you to sit in this circle as long as you want. If right now you want to turn this off and sit with the circle of connections that you have in you and all around you. And here today with the two of us, we're connected. We send you love. We acknowledge your grieving. Everything is welcome here. You are welcome here. If you want to rest with that, please go ahead and do that. If instead, when you're ready, if you're feeling called to open your eyes and your ears back to the closing of this time together, that's great too. Just allowing it all to be present. We are here for all of it. And if and when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming on back to us.
I pulled up a verse while we were talking that says, peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. The
Yeah.
peace that passeth all understanding. Yeah. Amen.
Well, thanks guys for spending some time with me and Courtney today on this one. And when you were talking, I thought, I hope every member of my family gets to hear this podcast today. I hope every member of my family gets to listen to this and just know that I'm thinking about you, and that I'm holding you close, and I'm keeping you really I'm holding you as tight as I can. I know there's a lot of my uncle's brothers and sisters that are pretty sad today, and conversely, I hope that they can step into some joy too, because we got to be with this man for almost 90 years. What a blessing. What a blessing. Cort, fantastic as always. Thank you for being a part of this week in and week out. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll leave it at that today. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for being a part of it. Please, like, subscribe. I don't want you to miss an episode that we tape almost every single day of the week. And tomorrow we'll be back with Dr. Dave. And then next week, you'll hear what Courtney and I recorded last week. You have to pay attention here. There's a lot of moving parts. So looking forward to it. Thanks again, Cort. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye, everyone.